Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambeau channel. Lovable Goldbug Peter Schiff has stumbled into XRP territory. He has accidentally stumbled into XRP's most famous use case, at least at this point in time, which is as a bridge currency. Happened just yesterday. And so I want to talk about what he said and how he's missing genuine utility. His biggest critique of the crypto space is that there's no utility, there's nothing you can actually do with this stuff. It's just a collectible, this and that. I'm like, I know that's not true. I learned that in a matter of days, basically. I can't remember exactly how long. When I jumped into crypto in November 2017, I mean, I got it in short order, whether it was a week or two, whatever the hell it was. It didn't take that long for me to have my aha moment, which was quite simply that you can have business models exist that cannot exist without technologically sufficient decentralized cryptocurrencies that also have an open market price. I realized that, and then I said to myself, oh wow, crypto's never going away. Didn't take that much time. I just started researching from each cryptocurrency by rank of market cap from biggest to smallest, and after I made it through a few dozen, and not that you could like thoroughly review all of them, you know, when you're going through that many as quickly as I was intending to, but still, XRP hooked me right away because I quickly realized, wait, there's so something that can be done here, and then I just never stopped researching. I was trying to poke holes in it. I was like, does this make sense? I was like, because if I'm going to buy more of this, like, it's got to make some damn sense, right? Utility matters, and we'll win the day, ultimately. And so, like, here, like, Peter Schiff is, like, on the cusp of figuring out something very important, but I don't think he's going to continue looking into this or research. I think he's just going to keep spouting off things that pop in his noggin there. So look, plenty to talk about here, but before I go any further, I do want to be clear that I don't have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you should not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos, but for me, it's just a fun hobby, and I always want to be super transparent about that. I'm sorry if you're tired of hearing me say that every single video, but there's always new subscribers coming on board, and I feel like it's the right thing to do, is just to make sure that I say that at least a couple times every single video. And I sleep easy at night as a result, but if I didn't, then I wouldn't. And so here you have Peter Schiff, and by the way, he's really garnered quite the following here on Twitter. You can see he's now got 551,700 followers, and most of that I think, because like really like where the real growth has come is like the more vocal he is about hating Bitcoin and crypto, the more people follow. Like I follow him, and I think he's wrong, which is fine. Like I still think the guy's likable, and I agree with him on all sorts of stuff, but he's disastrously wrong about crypto. And here he started talking about moving money around the planet, like trying to beat the legacy financial system with Bitcoin specifically. And look, I think you listening to this, I mean, maybe you're brand new and you don't know this, in which case that's fine. And kudos to you for seeking to learn more about crypto and XRP and so on and so forth and how it can be used. But we all understand that technologically, you could use Bitcoin as a bridge currency. You could plug it into Ripple's on-demand liquidity. Technologically possible also would be a terrible idea because you would add friction, you would increase costs, it would just be a complete nightmare because Bitcoin is slow and clunky. I mean, look, in times of high congestion, I've seen Bitcoin take over 24 hours to complete one single transaction. I've seen fees of over $50 per Bitcoin transaction. Not good as a bridge currency. Certainly not. Now, XRP on the flip side, well, you know, that's blazing fast. It settles on the XRP ledger with finality in, you know, a matter of seconds, and each transaction costs mere fractions of a penny. But here's the tweet where Peter Schiff is actually functionally delving into XRP territory, and just in terms of what it does, and one of the biggest problems that it's actually solving today. And here's what Peter Schiff wrote. Western Union charges $4.95 to transfer up to $500 to El Salvador. To avoid this fee, will people pay a fee to buy Bitcoin instead? Then pay an additional fee to transfer it to El Salvador, which once received will likely be sold, potentially at a loss. Bitcoin doesn't fix this. Now, he's right about that, though. Bitcoin doesn't fix this, does it? Because Bitcoin's very, very expensive to move. And look, I understand it fluctuates, But even when it's cheap, it's still typically in dollars. You know, it's not like it's a penny or 2 pennies or a nickel or a dime or even a quarter. Or even a $50, which is like a stupid piece of money, but that exists. I mean, it's not being created in America anymore, but it still exists and it's legal tender. But whatever, metallic currency is the worst. I can make a whole separate video about that. I'd love to bitch about paper money and metallic currency. Coins? Physical coins? No, thank you. But anybody that spends a little bit of time can kind of figure this out. And so XRP is perfectly suited for this. And he if he's being intellectually honest, I'll just assume he is here. He doesn't know that. He doesn't know there are other cryptocurrencies that are technologically sufficient to solve the problem, even though Bitcoin can't. How about that? And so here's a tweet from Corey Johnson, who is a former Ripple employee. I can't remember where he was working before Ripple. He was on television at some, I can't remember what news. I don't know if he's at Bloomberg or CNBC. I really honestly can't remember. Maybe it says on his profile here. Yeah, it was CNBC. There you go. So he was on. He was a. What's the term? Is anchor the right term? I don't know what that. I don't know what comes from that industry. He was on the television at CNBC. There, good enough, right? So that's what the hell he was doing. So he was doing that, and then he ended up working at Ripple, and he was there for, I can't remember, maybe it was a year or so. I always liked the guy, though. He's always like a lot of fun to watch. He's an energetic individual and good at articulating the utility of XRP, but something didn't work out, and so he ended up leaving. I don't really know the specifics, but it seems like the departure was on good terms, and he's always praised Ripple and XRP since then. And so Corey Johnson retweeted that from Peter Schiff and wrote, Ripple does using XRP. And so it's a recognition that absolutely the problem that he's saying, Peter Schiff is accurately saying Bitcoin can't solve, XRP can and is today. Like literally today. There are dozens of customers that Ripple has utilizing XRP via on-demand liquidity today. Absolutely. And the neatest thing about it, I think, in terms of adoption is that the typical person going through their remittance firm or their bank, whatever it may be, they don't have to even know that, they don't have to know the sausage is made. They don't have to know that XRP's in the plumbing. They don't have to know what cryptocurrency is. They don't have to adopt it. They don't have to do a damn thing. And then all of this utility takes hold, all this real world adoption. And what happens as you understand how competitive forces work, right? I mean, because look, if you're one of the first remittance firms to jump in and start using this in a particular corridor, there are a couple of things you could do. You can keep your prices for your customers exactly where they are, and then you've now got reduced costs, which means you can pad your margins. That's good for you. Or you could think, wait a minute, I've got a competitive edge. I could charge less, maybe even a lot less in this corridor, and I could, even if I'm padding my margins a little bit more than I'd otherwise be able to, I can undercut my competition and increase my market share. So you could do that as well. But even if you were more on like the greedy side, which is fine, like it's your damn business. If you've got better margins than another business, like cool, good for you. Like that's not a bad thing. But even if you're going that route and not, which would not so much increase downward pressure in terms of price, eventually other competitors jump into the space and they will want to grow their businesses faster than you are. And then your price is going to get pressed down if you want to be competitive in the space. And so all this ultimately works. And so what happens? Ultimately, it's a net plus for the end user, even if they're not touching XRP themselves, even if they don't know XRP is used in the background, as long as it's actually reducing price. And that's where we're at right now. It's the early days, but this is how this works. This is how adoption of new technology works in general. And so somebody named I can't read this font here. Navigator. I think I can read that right. That's probably an N, the first letter. Navigator. Gator. Gator. Responded to Peter Schiff and wrote the following. I like this comment, so I just thought I'd share it here. He wrote, many cryptocurrencies has a different... Wait, I'm reading that weird. Many cryptocurrency has its different use cases. So that's kind of a broken sentence. But you need cryptocurrencies. Many cryptocurrencies have their different use cases. That would make more sense. That's what he's trying to say. I fixed it. We're good. Not trying to insult you. I like your comment overall. Anyway, and then he said, try transferring the same amount with XRP. It takes a fraction of a penny to transfer $500 in less than 5 seconds. And he's not kidding. It's fractions of a penny to move $500 in 5 seconds. And then he says, using Bitcoin to transfer $500 is like using a shipping container to ship a notebook. Now that's good. A little golf clap for you, Navigator. I like that. It's like using Bitcoin for that. It's like to transfer $500 is like using a shipping container to ship a notebook. What a great analogy. I absolutely love that one. And then Crypto Joey Pie Fingers said the following. Wait, how are you supposed to read? Is it supposed to be read as Crypto Joey Pie Fingers? Or is it supposed to be Crypto Joey Pie Fingers? Like, I don't know what the cadence is supposed to be. Let me know, Crypto Joey Pie Fingers? I don't know. Anyway, he said, no, Bitcoin does not, but XRP fixes this. Do some research. See, and if he did this, though, if he sufficiently researched it, he would see there's utility, and he would see this is the only fix that humanity has come up with, and it does require the trust situation to be solved, which XRP certainly does in terms of, you know, the pre-funding issue. Once he'd see that, he'd have to admit that there's utility here, which means that the crypto asset class isn't going to go away. So even if he did figure this out, I mean, is he gonna be intellectually honest about that? It's just like he is the anti-crypto guy now. Like it's part of his identity. I don't know. I would like to think he'd admit it if he changed his mind. It'd be pretty hard though at this point, you'd think. Anyway, so then there's somebody named Cashless who responded to Peter Schiff also, and this individual said you could use XRP, XLM, Algo for near instant settlement and fractions of a penny in fees. Although I'm sure you already know this, you just keep pushing the narrative Bitcoin isn't for payments, which educated people in crypto already know. Now that is certainly true, and educated people in crypto know different cryptocurrencies are better suited for certain use cases than others. XRP is the best cryptocurrency on the planet for payments, for technological reasons, and also real-world adoption because it has sufficient liquidity, which makes it the best suited today to be positioned as a bridge currency. It just does. You can't code liquidity into a cryptocurrency. Luckily, it's been around for a while, and real-world adoption has been taking place, and a lot of that is thanks to speculators like myself and you if you're also speculated on XRP. We're all together as a global presence driving the market. And that's important. That's what makes these transfers possible ultimately via on-demand liquidity. So Peter Schiff, fun, lovable little dude, but and he's right about so much stuff. He called the housing collapse over a decade ago. Man, I agree with him on so much, but he could not be more wrong about crypto. And it's just interesting because like this is going to be his legacy now. He might be more known for his hate and wrongness surrounding crypto than for calling the housing collapse when this is all said and done. Because think about this: if you fast forward 50 to 100 years, you know, because like it'll be clear. Obviously, crypto will still be there as long as humans exist and as long as the internet still exists. So if that's the case, like fast forward 50 or 100 years. People will be making freaking documentaries about or whatever the format would be, highlighting what was going on right now here in 2021, highlighting the most famous people that were against crypto and how wrong they were. And unfortunately, that's probably going to be Peter Schiff's legacy if he doesn't come around. Because like, at some point, like how much time has to pass before he admits it's not going to zero? Because he keeps insisting after every bubble inflates and pops, and bubbles form in every market. He keeps saying after everyone inflates and pops, it's going to zero. It doesn't matter. So then the next one comes, it pops again. It's still going to zero, except for it never does. We trend upwards. That's what we keep doing here. And so at what point do you just have to recognize Peter Schiff, or will you? Is it like if another 10 years pass, or 20 years, or 30 years? Like how much time has to pass? Or is it going to be 30 years from now? And then we're going to have like over $100 trillion market cap for crypto. And you're just going to keep insisting it's all a bubble that's going to zero and it's all a scam. Do you want to be known for that? I sure as hell wouldn't. I'll go ahead and wrap up here. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.